My sister screamed at me during Thanksgiving, "You'll never be as successful as the rest of us." So I smiled and left quietly. Months later, Mom called frantic. The house payment bounced. I calmly said, "Your unsuccessful daughter stopped covering it." And that's when they realized. Original post. I, 35 female, have always been the different one in my family. My older sister Claire is a corporate lawyer making partner at 38. My younger brother Todd is a financial advisor with his own firm at 32. Both are married, both have kids, both live in big houses in nice suburbs. The success stories my parents love to brag about at church, at parties, to anyone who'll listen. Me? I'm a freelance graphic designer. Work from home, no husband, no kids, live in a small apartment downtown. To my family, I'm basically a failure. Never mind that I love my work, make decent money, have freedom and flexibility. To them, success means corner offices, six-figure salaries, and family photos on the mantle. What my family didn't know is that for the past 4 years, I've been the one keeping their lives afloat financially. It started when Dad had a minor heart attack and the medical bills piled up. Mom called me panicking about losing their house. Could I help just this once? I sent $5,000. Then Claire's husband lost his job, and they needed help with their mortgage for just a couple months. I sent $3,000 a month for 6 months. Then Todd's business had a slow quarter, and he couldn't make payroll. I fronted him $15,000. Every time, they promised to pay me back. Every time, they never did. And every time they saw me at family gatherings, they'd make little comments about my freelance lifestyle or ask when I was going to get a real job. I kept helping because they were family. Because that's what you do. Because despite their condescension, I love them. Thanksgiving this year was at my parents' house like always. Claire showed up in her new Mercedes. Todd brought expensive wine. I showed up with a homemade pie and a grocery store wine bottle because I just sent Mom $2,000 the week before for emergency roof repairs. Dinner was the usual. Claire talked about her latest case victory. Todd discussed his expanding client list. I mostly listened, ate my turkey, tried to be present. Then Claire's husband Mark made a comment. "So, Emma, still doing the freelance thing? When are you going to settle down and get a stable career?" I forced a smile. Freelancing is stable for me. I like the flexibility. Flexibility is code for unemployment, Todd joked. Everyone laughed except me. I'm employed. I have steady clients. I just work for myself. That must be nice, Claire said, and her tone was pure condescension. Not having any real responsibility. Just doodling on your computer whenever you feel like it. It's not doodling. I do branding, web design, marketing materials. Sure. Whatever you want to call it. I bit my tongue. Took a sip of wine. Reminded myself they were family. But Claire wasn't done. She'd had a few glasses of wine and apparently decided tonight was the night to really let me have it. "You know what your problem is, Emma? You never applied yourself. You took the easy way. While Todd and I were in grad school, working our butts off, you were taking art classes and finding yourself. I went to design school. I have a degree. In what? Coloring? Please. You'll never be as successful as the rest of us. You're 35 and you have nothing to show for it. No career, no husband, no kids. What do you even do all day?" The table went quiet. Everyone stared at their plates. No one defended me. Not Mom, not Dad, not Todd. They just sat there. I felt my face get hot. Felt tears threatening. But I refused to give Claire the satisfaction. Instead, I smiled. A real, genuine smile. Because in that moment, clarity hit me like a freight train. "You're absolutely right, Claire," I said calmly. "I'll never be as successful as you." I stood up, grabbed my coat from the hallway, and walked out. Didn't say goodbye. Didn't explain. Just left. Got to my car, sat there for a minute breathing. Then I pulled out my phone and started making changes. First, I logged into my bank account and canceled all the automatic transfers I'd set up. The monthly payment to my parents' mortgage. The contribution to Claire's kids' college fund that I'd stupidly agreed to. The loan payments to Todd's business that were supposed to be temporary 4 years ago. Second, I blocked their numbers. All of them. Mom, Dad, Claire, Todd. If they needed to reach me, they could email. Third, I went home and calculated exactly how much money I'd given my family over the past 4 years. The total was $147,000. $147,000 to people who thought I was a failure. I sat with that number for a long time. Then I did something I should have done years ago. I kept that money for myself. The first month was quiet. No one reached out. I assumed they were still mad about me leaving Thanksgiving dinner. Fine by me. I threw myself into work, picked up new clients, finally started building my savings account instead of draining it. Month 2, I got an email from Mom. Subject line, please call me. I deleted it without reading. Month 3, I booked a trip to Italy I'd been putting off for years. 2 weeks in Tuscany, stayed in beautiful hotels, ate incredible food, did wine tours. Posted pictures on Instagram for the first time in months. Didn't tag family. Didn't care if they saw. Month 4, the first of several frantic calls started coming through to my email. Mom, Emma, I've been trying to reach you for weeks. Your phone goes straight to voicemail. Please call me. It's urgent. I didn't respond. 2 days later, Emma, this is serious. The house payment bounced. I don't understand what happened. The bank says there hasn't been a payment in months. I thought you were handling the automatic transfer. There it was. For months had gone by before they noticed. For months before anyone realized that their unsuccessful daughter had been covering their mortgage. I waited a full day before responding. Wanted to make sure my words were exactly right. Hi Mom, I got your messages. The automatic transfer was canceled in November, right after Thanksgiving dinner, where Claire told me I'd never be successful and no one said a word to defend me. I've decided unsuccessful people like me shouldn't be responsible for successful people's mortgages. I'm sure Claire or Todd can help. Best, Emma. The response came in less than an hour. Emma, please. This is your father's and my home. We're going to lose it if we don't make these payments. We can't afford this on our own, you know that. Then you should sell it and downsize. Problem solved. We can't just sell our home. This is where you grew up. Don't you care about family? That's the message that broke something in me. I called her. Actually called, from my blocked number. She answered on the first ring. Emma. Oh, thank God. Do I care about family? That's really what you're asking me. I didn't mean. I've given you and Dad almost $50,000 over 4 years. I've given Claire $30,000. I've given Todd over $60,000. I've paid for your medical bills, your roof, your mortgage, their mortgages, their business, their kids. And at Thanksgiving, when Claire said I was unsuccessful and worthless, you said nothing. Dad said nothing. So yes, Mom, I care about family. Question is, do you? Silence. The house payment bounced because your unsuccessful daughter stopped covering it. That's what you called me about. Not to apologize. Not to check if I was okay after leaving Thanksgiving in tears. But to ask about money. That's not fair. What's not fair is working myself to exhaustion so my family can live comfortably while they mock my career and my life. What's not fair is being treated like a failure while funding everyone's success. The house payment bounced, Mom. And it's going to keep bouncing. Because I'm done. I hung up. Blocked the email address too. Within a week, I had emails from Claire and Todd. Both started with Mom told me what's happening and ended with some version of you're being selfish and immature. I responded to both with itemized lists of exactly how much money I'd given them, with dates and amounts. Then I added, you're right. I'm being selfish. Unsuccessful people like me need to focus on ourselves. Good luck with your house payments. The fallout was spectacular according to my Aunt Karen, who reached out to make sure I was okay. Apparently, my parents had no idea I'd been helping Claire and Todd too. Claire had no idea I'd been covering part of my parents' mortgage. Todd didn't know about any of it. Everyone thought they were the only ones getting help from unsuccessful Emma. The family meeting that followed, per Karen, was explosive. Accusations flew. The truth came out, none of them could actually afford their lifestyles. Claire was drowning in debt from trying to keep up appearances. Todd's business was barely breaking even. My parents had refinanced their house twice and were underwater on the mortgage. They'd all been relying on me, secretly, while publicly treating me like the family disappointment. Karen asked if I'd consider reconciling. I said no. She said she understood. That was 6 months ago. I haven't spoken to any of them since. Changed my email, kept my number blocked, removed them all from social media. My life now? Better than it's ever been. I paid off my student loans with the money I'm no longer sending to family. Opened a high-yield savings account. Started a retirement fund. Bought myself a new laptop and a professional camera for my design work. Last month, I signed a lease on a 2-bedroom apartment with a balcony and a view of the city. It's twice the size of my old place. I can actually afford it now that I'm not funding everyone else's lives. My business is thriving. Turns out when you're not emotionally exhausted from family drama, you can focus on work. I've raised my rates, taken on better clients, and I'm making more than I ever did before. I'm dating someone too. His name is James. He's a high school history teacher, and he thinks my work is fascinating. Asked to see my portfolio on our second date. Actually looked at it, asked questions, understood what I do. Didn't once suggest I get a real job. I told him about my family situation a few weeks ago. He was quiet for a minute, then said, "You know what success actually is? Having the courage to live life on your terms. Sounds like you're the only successful one in your family." I cried when he said that. Happy tears. Last week, I got a letter in the mail. Handwritten, from my dad. Someone must have gotten my new address somehow. It was an apology. Long, detailed, acknowledging everything. He said they'd had to sell the house, that he and Mom were moving to a smaller place. That Claire was filing bankruptcy. That Todd had to close his business. He said he was sorry. That they'd taken me for granted. That they'd been wrong about everything. That he wished things could be different. At the bottom, he'd written, "You were successful all along. We were just too blind to see it." I read it 3 times. Cried a little. Then I put it in a drawer with Becca's letter from the other story. Wait, no. That's not my story. I put it in a drawer and haven't decided what to do with it yet. Maybe someday I'll be ready to talk to them. Maybe not. Right now, I'm focused on building a life where I'm valued for who I am, not what I can provide. Where success is measured by happiness and fulfillment, not bank account size and job titles. Claire was right about one thing: I'll never be as successful as them. Because their version of success was built on debt, appearances, and my money. My version of success? It's built on freedom, authenticity, and self-respect. And honestly, I like mine better.